us as individuals, we really need to work on our mindset. We really need to tap in and adjust the neural pathways that occur in our minds. But that comes down to the fact that a lot of us don't want to do the work. It does take work. What is up, our fellow Legacy Ninjas? One half of Legacy Digging here, Scott Brandt. It's interesting when we think about the power of the mind. If we do not work on our mindset, then no matter how big your idea is to create the legacy you want to create, it's not going to stick. So we really need to tap in and really strengthen our mindset so that way during the tough times we can overcome and keep moving forward. And then once we hit a certain level, we don't come back to where we started because of our anchor point being at that point. So within this episode, it's all about the mindset, getting it strong, strengthening it so that way your legacy lives long and makes a huge impact like you want to see in the world. When you think about it, the mind is very powerful. And when you start putting out ideas, when you start putting out perspectives, perceptions that you hold, it can feed into other people's thought process, into how they perceive something. So we have to be very mindful. I know that we're trying to share an idea. We want to let people know that it's not always going to be easy. But if you tell people it's going to be hard, because a lot of people, when it comes to their mindset, they haven't worked on it yet. So they start assuming that for accomplishments to take place, it's got to be hard. And if it's not hard, it's not going to be worth accomplishing. So when we as individuals start sharing ideas, start talking to individuals, we have to be very mindful about the verbiage that we utilize. We don't want to lie to individuals and try to sugarcoat things, but we do need to be mindful that words are very powerful and what we say can trigger things in individuals, or when it comes to how a individual thinks or processes things, that they're going to see it differently. And so we have to be mindful about how we speak, the verbiage that we utilize, because we just never know. And it is one of those things that it's tough because it may be how we speak on a daily basis. It might be how we interact with individuals. But we have to understand that because of what we share and what we say, it could sway somebody, which goes to the fact that us as individuals, we really need to work on our mindset. We really need to tap in and adjust the neural pathways that occur in our minds. But that comes down to the fact that a lot of us don't want to do the work. It does take work, and it may not be hard work, but it's going to take an adjustment of how you normally interact, how you normally go about your day in your business, because habits develop and then they start forcing thoughts and the way things show up in our mind to go a certain way because it's been carved out that way. So it is one of those things that everybody in the long run, one of the things that really has to be worked on and really has to be focused on and strengthened is the mindset of an individual. That is going to be the starting foundation for anything. So if you're working with somebody, the mindset is going to be the biggest thing that has to be worked on, because the belief systems is going to be the anchor point for an individual. If you help them get to that next level, but they have not worked on that anchor point hasn't moved, it doesn't matter if they achieve that level. They're going to go back to that anchor point and have to start all over again. As an individual that's working with clients, working with businesses, the biggest starting point that we have to focus on is the mindset piece. And so that's where a lot of times we see people will achieve success and be like, yeah, congratulations on that. We'll cheer them on, high five, dap it up. And then you go back and see this individual 2 months later and they're back to where they started at when you met them. So you have to understand that it is the mindset that is going to determine how long that success holds for. Because if you do not adjust that anchor point, it doesn't matter how far they get further along, how many levels they go, it's not going to stick. It's going to go back. So it is one of those interesting things that I see individuals talk and share ideas, but a lot of times we fail to really get to the root cause, which is the mindset piece. And that also goes into the fact that you'll see people that will share and say, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. But where is your mindset compared to this individual over here? And the thing for individuals that are like, if I can do it, you can do it too. Are you sure that what you've done is going to stick? Have you done enough work on yourself? Have you worked on your mindset enough that it's going to stick and then move forward? But that's also, along with yourself working on your mindset, you've got to audit your circle. You've got to audit what you're feeding yourself, because what you feed yourself, who you're surrounding yourself with, will also feed into your mindset. And so you may be strong mentally by yourself, but you start getting around people and you have a group thing going on, and then you're stuck. You're going back because of who you're hanging around with, what you're feeding your mind through, what you read, what you listen to, everything of that nature. So it is one of those things that we have to just be mindful about the verbiage that we utilize. But the thing is, you're not going to sugarcoat it, because we're not going to lie to people. We want to share what that is, share the story, but understand a lot of this that's going to go into play is the mindset piece for the individuals that we're working with. And it even for ourselves, because we may hit a certain level, but if you haven't worked on your mindset, or if you've worked on the mindset, but you've released that work and you're not doing that work constantly, it's going to end up sinking backwards. And so you got to understand that it's a muscle. So the more you work on it, the stronger it's going to get. And so that is one of those things that it is a continual process, because once you hit a new level, the saying I've heard is, once you hit a new level, you're going to face new devils. And so it is an interesting thing to think about, that you might get to a certain level and you're like, cool, I'm good, I'm here, I don't need to do anymore. But it's opposite. Once you get to that certain level, it's going to need you to ramp up the work that you're doing for yourself, the work that you're doing for your mindset. And so this is one of those things that to create a big legacy for what you want to do in society and the world, it is a continual work for yourself as an individual to make sure it sticks. Really to focus on the mindset piece. Ask yourself, where are you at when it comes to your mindset? What do you need to do to strengthen your mindset? Or what have you done in the past that you've let go that you need to tap back into? Or audit who's in your circle to see what you need to do to level up, or ensure that those you have closest to you are feeding into you to help you move to that next level.